to a lovely Friday afternoon, free Akashic Records informational masterclass. My name is Reverend Lynn Laborde, and my friends call me Reverend. I'm just kidding. My friends call me Lynn. By the way, I think I'm hilarious. So I was just having to do a description. I have a business partner named Austin. By the way, Priyanka, this lovely Indian goddess, has been with me for 3.5, almost 4 years now. And she is my COO and someone who has, you know how you have someone who's seen the best of you, seen the worst of you, and still loves you unconditionally? That's who Priyanka is for me. So she
Wow.
joins us on these events. And she and another dear girlfriend of mine, one time one of my girlfriends, Danielle, said, I'm looking for a VA. And I'm like, I have the best VA in the world. And
Aw, thank-
I gave her to Priyanka, and I've never referred Priyanka to anybody else because Danielle has pretty much tried to kidnap her. But
no, no.
I know, say what you want, but whatever. So one day I get this notification and it says, Danielle Anatra, Priyanka Gupta coming to Huntington Hilton. I'm like, excuse me, I live in Huntington and you live in Canada, and she lives in where the fuck does she live? Las Vegas.
Vegas,
Wait,
yeah.
what are you guys doing coming to Huntington? She's like, well, I wanted to surprise you. And I'm like, I'm surprised. I got to find out on Facebook. You're coming to my hometown. So after 3.5, almost 4 years, hi, Terry. We're going to get to meet for the first time. I'm delighted out of my mind. My sweet Priyanka is coming to town.
No,
Do a
thank you.
workshop with somebody else. I don't take this personally. I wish them all the happiness in the world. I still get what I need from her, so I'm good. Anyway, um,
Lynn, before you
what
start, sorry, I just needed a code for your Facebook so that we can live stream on Facebook. It's sent to your email. It's not letting me log in, so I just want to make sure we
which
can live stream.
which one, baby?
Your Lynn at
And at Summer Life?
or there's some other Gmail account that is showing me starting with L that the code was sent to.
Anybody else have 7 emails?
Too much.
Uh, I have, okay, it's not there.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's okay.
No, I want to stream this.
Okay.
Really? Is it the email that, oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh,
Give me
now
two.
wait 1 second. Let me just go back. I logged out. I don't know if it's gonna ask again.
Okay. Hi,
Okay.
Penny. Hi, Terry. So Penny and Terry are two adorable women who spent a year with me through my quantum teaching curriculum, where we went through 7 courses over this year. And they corresponded to the 7 chakras. I'm big on that. And they came out as magnificent graduates. They read the Akashic records. They are psychics. They are mediums. They are otherworldly. And the biggest designation that they have right now for me is that they've taken on teaching my cornerstone class that's called Quantum Akashic Transformation. And they're teaching a class right now. They're going to be teaching another one in April. And they are so good at this. Like, it's just crazy. Do you need the code?
Yes, they sent you a new email. Can you just refresh?
Oh, okay. Yep. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
665612. Okay, so this is a true story. I had a business partner named James. We met in 2016. In 2017, we started my business, Soma Life. And, we had this very successful business for years. COVID came, everybody went their separate ways. James is now in a relationship with a lovely woman. They live at the tip of Brooklyn. So 3 times I get this message from Facebook about how someone's trying to get into my account, and they give you a picture of where it is and an IP address, and it's his address. And so I call him up and I go, James, this really strange thing's happening. Because he had my login and I had his, and they were both on our computers. But when you go your separate ways, you think it's stuff. I go, James, this really strange thing happened. 3 times someone tried to log in to my Facebook account from your IP address. How do you think that could have happened? And he goes, oh, I must have been hacked. And I'm like, could you please delete my Facebook from your laptop so that doesn't happen again? Because there was like spam all over the place. I'm like, where's this coming from? I'm not going to say it could possibly be your girlfriend. I would never. Not out loud anyway. I might think it, but I wouldn't say it out loud. Not to his face. So I had to reset my Facebook password. So the other day, we're trying to do a live, and I'm like, okay, we'll log into my Facebook account. Priyanka's like, the password doesn't work. And I'm like, what? I had completely forgotten about this. But anyway, is there a free Akashic link? All right. So there's another very precious soul here that I want to introduce all of you to, and her name is Beth. And when I was told to open up a retreat to Egypt, they're like, put a video on TikTok. And I go on TikTok and I do this video. I'm like, hey, I'm taking a bunch of people to Egypt. And I get a phone call one day. And I don't know about you, but if you have a random phone call on your phone and you don't know where it's from, you usually don't answer it, right? At least I don't. But this one said Tennessee, and Spirit was like, answer the call. So I answer the call and I'm like, hello? And this woman, she goes, hi, my name is Beth. I saw your video on TikTok about the trip to Egypt. And I'm like, this can't be real. Lo and behold, it was. I gave her the information. She goes to the website. She registers to come on the trip. If there's another woman in this room who came on that trip with us, would you please raise her hand? Penny. So Penny and Beth and I, there's a group of 9 of us. We go traipsing off to Egypt. And while we're on the cruise up the Nile, Hathor, who's one of the beloved goddesses that I channel, she's the Egyptian goddess of women. So Hathor comes to me and she says, you're not scheduled to come to my temple. And I reach out to Alicia, another woman who works with us. And I say, Alicia, Hathor just came to me and said, we're not scheduled to go to her temple. And Alicia says, Lynn, we just found out that we get into Luxor at 5 o'clock. And her temple is in Dendera 2 hours away, and they close at 5 o'clock, so we can't do it. And I said, all right. And Hathor said, can't cancel your next day, find a place to stay. I love this love story. I can't even. I said, find a place for us to stay in Luxor because we're going to the house of Hathor. We're going to Hathor's temple. So I start looking on my phone and I find a place called House of Hathor. Like, you can't make this stuff up, right? I take a screenshot. I send it to Alicia. At the same time, she sends me a screenshot of the same location. And it's literally Hathor going, come to my home. So I get in touch with the woman through Airbnb and she's like, oh, you can stay. We have accommodations for 13 people. We have all these bedrooms. We register, we pay. They meet us in Luxor. They take us to the house of Hathor. And when we're greeted by like this lovely man named Mohammed, who is the proprietor of the house and his staff. And we're met with like juices. Remember the little glass of juices that they had waiting for us? And Mohammed looks at Beth and he's like, I know you. And she's like, in fact, Alicia just sent us a video of the first meeting. And she's like, do you want us to take your shoes off? And he's like, I want you to be comfortable. And she's like, no, we want to please you. So I talked to Beth just a few weeks ago and I'm like, how are you? And she's like, well, I'm in Egypt. And guess what? Mohammed and I just got married. Can't make this stuff up. So congratulations, Beth. I haven't seen you live on video since. It was a love story. Like
It's
their connection was unbelievable. Here's the wedding ring. Here's the proof. So when people come on my retreats, all kinds of things can happen, including getting married to the love of your life. It's a true story. And Penny is a witness to that. Penny was there. She saw it all happen. So one of the other people that I want to introduce you to really quickly is a gentleman by the name of Austin May. And Austin was recently introduced to me. He was introduced to me back in December. We met for the first time in January with one of my dear friends, a woman named Suzanne. And Suzanne says, Lynn, this is Austin. Austin, this is Lynn. Lynn channels Jesus. Austin is Jesus. And I start short circuiting because I'm looking at his energy. Unfortunately, he's not live with us on camera. You're not live, are you? No, I think that's just one of his pictures. But that's what he looks like. And I was like, because I channel Jesus, and I'm like, Jesus, what's going on? And he says, oh, he is a leaf on my tree of life. He carries the I am energy that I carry. And I'm like, get out of here. Because I'm overwhelmed by the energy. So then a few weeks later, Austin says, hey, have you ever been to Utah? And I'm like, no, it's cold in Utah. I'm cold enough in New York. I don't want to come to Utah and freeze. And he's like, all right. Then I have dear friends in Idaho who say, why don't you come visit us? You haven't been here in 30 years. I'm like, oh my God, how close is Idaho Falls to Salt Lake City? And they're like 3 hours. I'm like, oh my God. Then dear friends from Europe say they're going to Utah. And then another friend is going to Utah. So I book a ticket, I go, I meet Austin, and now we are planning some of the most extraordinary things in the world. So with Penny and Terry taking over teaching the Cornerstone class, where you learn these 12 extraordinary tools to be able to move and shift energy, to be able to open up your psychic abilities, to be able to read the Akashic records, to be able to go into the Akashic records. Austin and I are taking it to the next level of mastery with the clairs, mastery with the chakras, and Mastery with the Akash. And then we're doing this most exciting thing, which is we're taking people on this world tour through all of the chakra centers on Earth. And we're going to be taking people to Mount Shasta, Uluru in Australia. We're going to take people to Tibet. We're going to take people to India, where Jesus' bones are actually buried. And we're starting out with a retreat in December. So that's just a quick preview of everything that's going on in my world. And why you came today is to have an experience of having your records read. So going into the field of the Akasha is like going into the spiritual iCloud of every thought you've ever had, every word you've ever spoken, every action you've ever taken through all time and space, dimensions, and reality. So all of your past lives, your future lives, your simultaneous existences. So imagine that God is the tree of life, and we are the branches, the limbs, and the leaves on God's tree of life. The Akashic Records is the tree that holds all of those memories. So we teach you a prayer that I was taught by my teacher, Linda Howe. I have a book here, don't I? And Linda's book is called How to Read the Akashic Records. I first came across the Akashic Records when I was 11 years old. My mom gave me a copy of Edgar Cayce's book, The Sleeping Prophet. Again, on another bookshelf, doesn't matter. But I became fascinated with the Akashic Records. How many of you here are drawn because you have some kind of attraction to the Akashic Records and you don't know what it is? Something about it compels you. Something makes you go, I know that feels familiar. So in 2017, I see a girlfriend of mine named Tiffany post that she's just learned to read the Akashic Records. And I'm like, oh my God, get out of here. I call her on the phone. She said, I need to practice on people. And I say, Tiffany, will you please practice on me? And she said, absolutely. So she did this reading for me. And I was literally in tears the whole time, feeling the energy and the majesty. I said, how did you learn this? And she said, oh, well, there's this woman named Linda Howe. And she taught this person who taught that person who begat this person who begat that person who taught me. She was like 6 degrees of separation from Linda. So I start following Linda Howe on Facebook. And then she announces that she's going to start teaching how to read the Akashic Records on a platform very much like Zoom that was called Learn It Live. And I sign up for this thing. And at the time, I'm like, it seemed really expensive. It was like $850 back in 2017. People weren't charging that for, but it was 3 months. There were 48 of us from around the world that were going to gather together to do this thing. So I said yes. The very first time I opened the Akashic Records, these beings start jumping up and down. My clairs are open because I'm a psychic, a medium, and a channel. They're jumping up and down and they're screaming, halls of Amenti, halls of Amenti, halls of Amenti. And I'm freaking out. I don't know what the halls of Amenti are. However, I did come to find out that the halls of Amenti are mentioned in this brilliant book, The Emerald Tablets by Thoth the Atlantean. I get scared. I close my records. I go to my teacher, Linda, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? And she said, oh, they're just really excited to see you. Go back in, open your records again. You say this beautiful prayer. Part is said aloud and part is said silently. And you're going to have an experience of Terry doing a reading for you today. And I went back in and I was like, hello? Like I was terrified. And they said, welcome back, beloved. And I said, why? What was that all about? And they said, you were the keeper of the records in Atlantis. My name was Sahaniel, which is the name of my higher self, who's this stunning being. And you are she who remembers. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like this can't possibly be true. But what happened is I was told that I was the one who was meant to teach people how to read the records. By the way, this is a painting that a girlfriend of mine, who is also with us in Egypt, has done of my higher self, Sahania. She's just gorgeous. And this is Sahania with the light of the Akashic Records coming out of the middle of her. It's like a little mosque, right? Anyway, so this is called You Can't Make This Stuff Up. So I become certified as an advanced Akashic Records practitioner, and then I'm told I need to start teaching people. So I teach one person, I teach 8 people, I teach 20 people. And over the years, I've taught probably 700 people to read the Akashic Records. And then there are the people that want to go deeper and do more. And those are people like Penny and Terry, and even Priyanka, who've come and sat through my year-long training and come to understand now I'm not teaching that training. I don't have any plans to teach that training right now. What I'm doing is I'm taking people and we're going to the level of mastery with it, which is this work that Austin and I are going to be doing over this year. So I wanted you all to get a chance to meet players in my world. And one of you, so Priyanka, who likes to pretend that she's not psychic, but she's psychic AF, and that doesn't stand for Alpha Fawn. She is going to communicate with Spirit because Spirit has already chosen which one of you are going to receive a reading today. So here's some things to know about getting a reading in the Akashic Records. You want to ask why questions. Why am I in love with this? Why am I afraid of that? Why do I have a love of snakes and a fear of spiders? Why is Paris my favorite city in the world? And why do I hate Spain and Germany? One of my first questions with one of my prolific students, I asked her one time, why am I so afraid of my father? And this incredible story of betrayal came out about my dad, which explained my relationship with him for this lifetime for sure. Why questions will get you further, but not questions like, I had one student, she said, why did my mother abandon me? And the records wouldn't give her any information because she was trying to read her mother's records. Does that make sense? I said, why don't you try this question instead? Why did I choose a mother to abandon me? And then the records were forthcoming. It's based on soul contracts that are made from lifetime to lifetime. So we've been each other's mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, murderers, saviors, rapists. Like we've done it all to each other. And we keep kind of flipping roles. There's a group, like a pod group, a soul group that everybody will travel through time and space with. And we all kind of just keep coming back to each other. The answer to every question that you have about your life, about your soul, about your journey, everything sits in the Akashic Records, and you have access to it. Everyone has permission to access their own Akashic Records. Now, there's a restricted section, and the restricted section is you're not quite ready for this. So I just recently told the story of how the very first time I learned to channel, I came back to my friends. I was so excited. I was working with Pallas Athena, and my girlfriend had a brand new asteroid phone. Asteroid? Not asteroid. What are they called? Not an iPhone.
Android.
Thank you. Android. I hate those phones. So she decides to videotape me while I'm channeling. And all of a sudden, at the end of the channeling, she's looking at me with her mouth hanging open. And I'm like, what just happened? And she said, Lynn, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of green bubbles were floating on the screen as you were channeling. And I go, let me see. And just as she's about to turn the phone around to me, the phone goes blank. She opens it back up and the video is gone from the phone. And I'm like, Athena, what happened? She said, we didn't realize that the Android was strong enough to pick up these images. I do need a clean slate Android and asteroid. um, she said, Athena said, we didn't realize the phone was strong enough to pick up the energy that you guys aren't supposed to see. But it literally looked like this. It looked like a bunch of these green bubbles floating on the screen as I was channeling. And I said, what would have been wrong with me seeing that? And they said, it would have scared you so much you never would have channeled again. So we've taken that away from you, continue. And since then, I've channeled a total of now 22 Ascended Masters. So it's been an incredible journey. If you have a desire, one of you is going to get read today. If you have a desire to do a reading, Penny reads, Terry reads, Priyanka reads, although she pretends she doesn't. I do readings. You can get trained to read. There he is. Hey, Austin. This is my dear friend, Austin May. Austin and I are going to be traipsing around the world, helping people get aligned to their chakras. Very, very exciting. Thank you for being here with us today. And he's going to help me. His clairs are wide open. Do you guys know what your clairs are? Clairsentience, clairvoyance, clairalliance, clairgusto, claircognizance. They're your ability to know things from spirit without having read it, your ability to smell things, your ability to taste things that are not in your vicinity, your ability to see beyond your physical eyes, your ability to hear beyond your physical ears. How many of you hear voices inside your head like spirit tells you stuff? Okay. Any of you have visions of any of you that can literally actually see spirits that are not corporeal? Anybody have that ability? Oh, Karen, that's so cool. I don't want that one. I know that they're out there. They talk to me all the time. I don't want it. You don't want it either. I understand. Um, Sometimes it's just, how many of you like get goosebumps? Like you can feel the temperature change. Like there's clearly the presence of spirit in the room. So you can open up more of those if you want to. You can learn how to read the Akashic records. I see orbs and flashes. Yes, exactly. Like almost out of the corner of your eye. Like you can see them all the time. So all that's available for you if you ever want to expand into that realm of knowledge and wisdom. And listen, here's the deal. You guys have had those abilities for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. I had a woman come to me. She was an incredibly gifted shaman, but she could not see. So we went into her Akashic records, and there was a lifetime where she lived to be so old within her Indian tribe, but the generation that they were, all of her peers had died off, and they were all like, "Oh, old lady, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about." And she says, "Look, on this day and at this time, our camp is going to be attacked. Our tribe, the marauders are coming." So the day of the attack, she hid herself in a cave, and of course, the tribe was wiped out. When she came back, she saw all the death and all the mayhem. One of the beings was so mad, and he said, "You did this. You created this. You made this happen. You saw this and you manifested this." So he took two pieces of wood, he burned them in the fire until they were red hot like embers, and he burned her eyes out, and then they left her for dead. And she made the decision in that lifetime to never use her gift of clairvoyance again. So we've made those decisions along the way. Somewhere you've closed down your abilities, you've closed down your God given natural gifts. And we have the tools and the means to help you open those up again. So that's part of the work that we do here. I think that's it. Penny, Terry, Priyanka, anything else I should talk about? Anything else I should mention? Why questions? Think of two or three things that you've always wanted to know or understand. I get photos now as I'm a photographer. That's very cool. So your clairvoyance is open. One time when my abilities first turned on, I was in Egypt and I was in Israel and I laid my hand on a gravestone and the being in the grave started talking to me and it opened up all these abilities. And I told my sister, she's like the one person I'm like, "I'll tell you, but don't tell mom." Because my mom was this Christian woman. I was like, my mom's going to freak out if I tell her to talk to the dead, right? So my sister sends her best friend Jill to me. And Jill goes, "Listen, my dad just died. I'd like to know if you can talk to him." And the dad comes through and he's telling me things. And she's like, "Oh, I already know that." And then the father shows me giraffes, like a whole bunch of giraffes, like wooden giraffes, glass giraffes, stuffed giraffes, all these kind of giraffes. And I said, "Jill, he's showing me all these giraffes." And she's like, "There are no giraffes." I said, "All right." So she goes back to my sister and she goes, "Yeah, your sister sucks. All she did was, show me giraffes." And my sister goes, "Well, that's really weird." So then Jill talks to her mom and she goes, "Pam's sister Lynn supposedly talks to dad." And I asked to talk to dad. And he kept showing her pictures of giraffes and figurines. And the mother goes, "Oh, that's because your father and I have a collection of giraffes. We have like 50 giraffes." And she goes, "Where?" And she's like, "In the bottom of the cabinet." And she goes over the cabinet and she opens it up and there's all the giraffes. So they come through with physical evidence, you know, they want to give you validation that it's really them. So that's available to you guys. Okay. Austin, anything you want to say? Say a quick hello to the ladies.
Hello, everybody. Don't have much to say right now. I just wanted to tune in and bring some love to all of you.
Thank you so much. Austin did this experiment with a group of us that meet in the morning. And he took our pictures and then he was sending love to everybody 3 times a day. And he had us take this questionnaire about what we experienced in the morning and what we experienced in the afternoon and what we experienced in the evening. And everybody had these scores and all their scores went up just when someone is beaming love. When you pray for people, you send them light. And when you judge people, you curse them and you send them darkness. So imagine that there's someone. Austin attunes himself to the frequency of the I am presence. So imagine that that person is praying for you and that person is sending you love. It was really an incredible experience. So thank you for doing that for all of us. He sometimes feels like a little brother because he's half my age. And then sometimes he comes through with like great grandpa wisdom. You know, I have a memory of being one of Jesus's younger sisters in the lifetime when he walked the earth. And so I'm very, very blessed to have Austin and all of his Austenness here in this journey. So, Priyanka, I will let you spin your magic cosmic wheel and please tell us who will be receiving an Akashic record reading today from our beloved Terry.
Nancy.
Nancy. Nancy. Hey, lovely lady.
Hello, thank you.
You're welcome. So, Nancy, this is Terry. Terry, this is Nancy.
Hi,
And
Nancy.
Terry is a phenomenally gifted reader of the Akashic records. She's got a few other things about her, but I'll let her share that with you. Terry, is there anything that you want to say to the group or to Nancy before we get started? I'll let you take.
Well, there's a lot I could say, but I will say this, that I was so drawn to this work about 8 years ago or so, and I ran away from it. I just left. I thought it was wrong. And I knew if I ever came back to it, it would have to be Jesus involved in some way. And it started calling me back a couple years ago. And so I said, okay, I'm only going to do this with Jesus present. And here comes Lynn. She walks in and she was the perfect person to mentor me because I needed that connection. So that's just where I come from. And it's been an absolutely amazing experience.
Has anybody here ever come across A Course in Miracles?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. So the blue version of The Course in Miracles was severely edited by Helen and Ken to the tune of 48,000 words being taken out. And then there was a man who came along named Robert Perry, and he spent 11 years painstakingly going through all of her original handwritten notes and all the edits. And do you know what Jesus mentions 8 times? He mentions the Akashic records, and all that got taken out. So Jesus is so connected to the Akashic records. Oh, this is Priyanka's adorable son named Kian. Hi, Kian. So, Terry, thank you. And your gift is just extraordinary. So, Nancy, prepare for the ride of a lifetime. All right, I'm going to let you take it from here, baby.
Okay. All right. So, Nancy, tell me what your full name is.
Nancy Ison, I-S-O-N.
Okay. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a second to get my breathing calmed down just a little bit after all this excitement of listening to Lynn. And then I'm going to read a prayer. And when I'm done reading the prayer, I'll take us to make sure that your records are open, and I'll tell you your records are open. Then I'll ask you your first question. Okay.
Okay.
All right. If you're ready, here we go. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. O Holy Spirit of God, help me to know Nancy Ison in the light of the Akashic records, to see Nancy Ison through the eyes of the Lords of the records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of Nancy Ison have for her. The records are now open. Welcome, Nancy. Do you have your first question?
I would like to know why I have chosen to be overweight in this lifetime and why I seem to continue to choose that.
Beloved, they are telling me that while you did have a soul contract coming in to experience the challenges in this lifetime, dealing with physical health, They are also telling me that you have an attachment of sorts, something that is, I'm not sure what the right word is to use exactly where you'll understand, but they're telling me that there is an interference that is blocking you from releasing any weight you want to release, that there is not a reason you can't, other than there is an internal, I'm not sure what the right word is. Let me see if they'll give me a better, clearer way to say it. They keep using the word blockage, but it's not like a physical block. It's mental. It is on the spiritual plane, and it is attaching to you, keeping you stuck in this place that you feel you are stuck in. And that while, yes, your soul contract does involve understanding physical challenges, they're saying there's no reason you can't overcome that. But this particular, they use the word entity, is keeping you there for now. And until that is released and you're able to just open up the ability to just let that go, that's why you're stuck there. Does that help you understand?
I understand the concept of attachments. I've jokingly called them Klingons.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Yes. Yes, you are thinking accurately for what they are showing me. Yes. There is an energy that needs to be released in order for you to bring your health back to the place where you would want it to be, to your desire.
An energy that needs to be released, such as forgiveness work.
It's more along the lines of the Klingon, as you were mentioned. It is someone perhaps who is protecting you or thinks they're protecting you, or enjoying your presence as you are, and is afraid to watch you improve yourself, is afraid to see you grow in some manner. That is usually the reason for it.
Is there any advice to help me release this?
Yes, there are healing tools that will help you with that. There is many different techniques. Lynn she covers several of these. She has taught her students how to do this work. It is not an impossible task at all. There is just some steps, some processes to go through in order to find it and see it for what it is and let it go. That's what they're saying. You just need to let it go. And that is very doable for you.
That's encouraging. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have another question?
Oh God, please understand, this takes great trust. You can see everything about me. I understand that in a past life, my father and I have been not particularly nice people. And is there anything I can do now to help heal the pain I have caused in the past?
Yes, you absolutely can do things now. There is a process of going back, finding where the problem took place, the incident took place, and you will literally invite those souls, everyone affected by that experience, to come in. You're going to have your guides and guardians there, and there is a forgiveness ceremony that you can have that will completely heal that for all involved, not just you, but for all. And it is an unbelievable feeling of release and peace you can receive once you do that. It's just a matter of facing it head on, recognizing your part, and apologizing for it, asking forgiveness.
Okay. Okay, I assume these processes are on Lynn's website, or I can access classes there. I know.
Yes, it is. It is through her classes that she teaches these types of things. These are the healings, various forms of healing for yourself. If you want to be a healer to teach others, these are all things that she has done for many, many years and teaches others to do for themselves and to help others. Yes, it's all available to you.
But not anymore. Penny and Terry are now teaching those.
Yes,
There's a class coming up in April, and they're magnificent. Sorry for breaking in, Terry.
it's okay.
Okay. I think I'm complete for today. Thank you.
All right. If you are complete, then I will thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. I would like to thank the Lords of the Akashic Records for their point of view. And I would like to thank the Holy Spirit of light for all knowledge and understanding and wisdom. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen.
So, Nancy, with your permission, and I've never done this before, but I'm being called to do this, I'd actually like to walk you through the process of letting go of that entity, if you're open to it.
Yes, I see. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I got goosebumps. I was told to do this. I haven't done this before, Priyanka, have I? All right, here we go. And, just to let you know, I'm not teaching this anymore. I'm kind of retiring, stepping out of that, but Penny and Terry are teaching it. Austin and I are taking it to a level of mastery after people have had the foundation training. But okay, here's what we're going to do. So, Nancy, the first thing I'd like to do is to have you close your eyes. Everybody, you're welcome to come. I'm going to take you guys from beta consciousness into alpha, into theta through a series of breathing techniques. This is an entity that attached itself to you in a lifetime where you actually experienced starvation, and it provided solace for you, and it's still connected to you some 700 years ago. So just begin by allowing yourself to become really present to where it is that you are in time and space. By the way, Terry, that was a beautiful job. Thank you so much for your tenderness and bringing that information through. Take an inhale in through the nose. And as you do, allow yourself to exhale through the mouth. And as you do, begin to drift your consciousness from the head down towards the heart. Just letting everything go. Take another long, slow, beautiful inhale in through the nose. Make it a little longer, a little deeper. Hold for an extra moment. And then as you exhale and release through the mouth, continue to let your consciousness drift down towards the heart. You're beginning to slow down. Take another long, slow, beautiful inhale in through the nose. Let it circulate throughout the body. And then as you exhale and release through the heart, continue through the mouth, continue to drift down towards the heart. Next, I want you to imagine breathing in white light, life force, prana, ki, chi. You breathe breath of life in through the nose. Let it circulate throughout the body, from the crown all the way down to the feet. And then as you exhale, I want you to release any darkness, any tension, any worries, any anxieties, any fears. Just let it all go through the breath. Take another long, slow, beautiful inhale of white light in through the nose. Yeah. And then as you exhale through the mouth, way. Exhale and release any darkness, letting it all go, coming more and more into the heart. Take another beautiful breath in of white light. Yeah. And as you exhale and release through the mouth, exhale away, letting and releasing the darkness. Beautiful. Next, I want you to imagine breathing in golden light. Breathe in God's golden light. And as it comes into the body, it begins to activate the light body within the physical body. You'll feel it tingling in your fingers and your hands as the light body begins to awaken. You are shifting from beta consciousness into alpha consciousness into theta consciousness. Take another beautiful inhale in of that golden light. And then exhale that same golden light sinking further and further down. One more gorgeous inhale of golden light. Breathe that in. And then exhale and release. Nancy, you're going to begin a dialogue with this being. We refer to these as holodynes. These are self-organized information systems. Some people call them Klingons, some people call them entities. But it is the being that came to you at a moment when you needed assistance, as you were in this moment of starvation. And what happened in that moment, there was trauma where you have felt this hunger. There have been other reasons for having this attachment, but we are here now to release it. The first question that I want you to ask it telepathically is, who are you? And tell me its response.
I'm hearing something like an S or a CK sound.
Okay. Once again, take an inhale in. And on your exhale, ask it, who are you? This is a bit like a game of Rumpelstiltskin, and eventually it will reveal itself. But it's been living in the shadows for a long time. Who are you?
Your protector.
Thank you. Ask this being, who are you? You're asking for you to name yourself.
Shaka.
Shaka, we thank you so much for your service to Nancy through the myriad of lifetimes in which you have acted as her protector. Shaka, we would ask you at this time, is there anything that you don't want Nancy to know about you?
It doesn't want me to know that it needs me as much as I need it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful symbiotic relationship that the two of you share. Shaka, the question that we have for you at this time is, are you willing to go back to your full operating potential? Are you willing to go back to the light of the Creator?
It says yes, it is, because it believes I am right behind it.
Okay. So, Nancy, what I would like you to do at this time is to invite a guide to come forth that will assist Shaka in releasing from you, letting go of this dynamic, and returning back to source light. Who is it that comes forth to assist?
Mary Magdalene.
Hello, beloved Magdalene. So please introduce the two of them and allow Magdalene to embrace Shaka. Is there any final word that you would like to give to Shaka before the release?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Magdalene now takes Shaka in hand and they release from you and they make their ascension back to the light. My love, I'm going to ask one of the fairies to come to you, and she's going to lend you her fairy wand. And I want you to tap from the crown of your head to your third eye, to your throat, to your heart, to your solar plexus, to your sacral, and to your root, and allow the fairy dust to come out of the fairy wand, and it begins to restructure you without the presence of Shaka feeding upon your energy. You were feeding for two. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. We give deep and grateful thanks for this blessing. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. Amen. Okay. You can open your eyes.
Mm.
Beautiful work. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hmm.
My beloveds, I have such a precious relationship with Magdalene, and I'm thrilled that she was here to assist with that. So I don't mean for this to be a sales pitch, but if you guys want to learn how to do this, how to have these skills and more, Penny and Terry are going to be teaching this magnificent 8-week class coming up in April. Austin and I are going to take people on a journey. It's going to be a mastermind that's going to last through the rest of the year. We're doing 9 weeks, and then we're doing another 9 weeks and another 9 weeks. And it's about mastery with opening your clairs. It's about mastery with working with the chakras. And it's about mastery with working with the Akash. So if that's anything you'd like to do, I think Priyanka can drop some links. You're always welcome to come back here. We're here every other week. On the weeks that we're not here, I have a membership where I do meditations and I do channeling. So you're always welcome. If there's any questions that I can answer for you, if there's any way that I can be of assistance, Penny and Terry are extraordinary as well. Priyanka's still hiding out in the shadows, but eventually we're going to yank her ass out of the corner, make her start doing this work as well. Very first class she's in, she's doing a reading with somebody, and she's like, she's on it, she's on it, she's on it. And I think she got afraid, and she was like, oh no, they've seen my light. Anyway, I keep pulling her out of the corner. Psychic ass. My sweet Priyanka. Anyway, I thank you all for being here. Are there any questions anyone has?
I would just like to say I'm reading your Channeling Magdalene book, and I have felt her so dearly in the last 3 months. Yes, that is just the most beautiful companion book to the course. Thank you.
Oh my God, right? So you're welcome. So I had a moment of real darkness in my life in January of 2019, and I'm lying on my bed and I'm crying my eyes out. I lost a relationship, a couple business partners, 5 people that I used to talk to almost daily. It was just like this major crash in my life. And for the first time in my life, I didn't want to be alive. And I'd never felt that. I was more like, who do I need to kill to make things better rather than let me take my own life? But I'm lying on the bed and I'm more like homicidal than suicidal. My father's Scorpio traits. You're welcome. So I'm lying on my bed and I'm crying my eyes out. And I'm like, Jesus, you need to help me because I don't want to be here. And Magdalene shows up. And I'm like, Magdalene. By the way, Beth channels Magdalene every day. And Magdalene comes and she directs me to this beautiful book called The Disappearance of the Universe. It had been sitting on my bookshelf forever. And in the book, Gary Renard, the author, is directed back to the Course in Miracles. And I'm like, I love the Course in Miracles. I have an entire bookshelf of French and German and all these different versions of the Course in Miracles. I love the Course in Miracles. So I dig back into it. And Magdalene is with me on this journey. And at one point, she and Yeshua come forth and they said, there's a woman named Tina Spalding who just did a journey in 2019 of channeling Jesus every day and doing the commentary on the 365 lessons of A Course in Miracles. Have you guys ever seen this? These are all the little cards of the course. So Jesus says, wouldn't it be great if there's someone who was channeling Jesus and doing commentary on the lessons every day? And I'm like, I wonder what you would look for. And Jesus literally goes to me, try Googling channeling Jesus. I find this community with all these beautiful people. I joined Tina's community. And round about September of that year, Jesus and Magdalene come to me and they say, will you take Magdalene on a tour? This is now 2020. And they say, will you channel her every day and bring forth her divine feminine wisdom on the lessons of Course in Miracles? And I'm like, oh my God, I'd be honored. And so that's what this masterpiece is. This is 744 pages of me channeling Magdalene and bringing forth her wisdom on the lessons of A Course in Miracles. And this painting is done by our dear friend Matanya, whom Beth and Penny know because we were all together in Egypt. And it's one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. I'll just be honest with you. When I channeled her, I thought I was faking the whole thing. I wanted those videos to disappear. I never wanted to. I was like, let them be on YouTube with my other 2,000 videos. No one will ever see them. We'll just pretend this never happened. Those are not the droids you want, you know? And then after we got back from Egypt, Jesus and Magdalene came to me and they said, okay, it's time to publish the book. And I was like, oh no, they're going to find out I was faking this whole thing. And I have some really precious friends that stepped forth and they said, we'll channel the book for you. 3 of them, the 3 wise men, Nina, Raymond, and Lynn. And literally Jesus comes in and says they carried the essence of, oh, it's 222. They carried the essence of their aspects of the 3 wise men that came to Jesus, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, come on. I'm not that creative. I'm not Steven Spielberg. I'm not, yeah. Anyway, so that this book, this precious, precious book, has given me an incredible relationship with Magdalene. And Beth has now started channeling Magdalene, comes forth with some really beautiful messages from Magdalene every day. So if you want to continue to have a gorgeous relationship with her, you can find Beth Brown Ranella on Facebook. So I thank you all for being here. Terry, that was beautiful. Thank you to Penny and to Priyanka and to Austin for holding the space for all of us. Nancy, thank you for your willingness and your openness to release and give that light back to God. Because what happens is these beings come in and they think they're being helpful. They think they're being companion. You know, and sometimes they get snarky and they're like, I'm the devil. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm Beelzebub. And you're like, knock it off. Like, who are you really? And as soon as you get their name, then you can negotiate with them. It's literally like a game of Rumpelstiltskin. So I thank you all for being here. It has been my honor and my delight. This is the work I do. I put this ring on my right hand over 30 years ago because I'm a woman of God and I'm married to God. And it's my life's work. That's it. Any questions? Thank you. Karen, did you have a question? You can unmute.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Some of the things that you're just touching on is just crazy. I mean, I know I was supposed to be here, but yeah. I never had the record. I've had, oh my goodness, I'm just babbling. Sorry.
Like, just take a breath. You're fine.
Sorry. I'm just like, it's just the way spirit's working gets really funny. So you know how that goes.
A lot. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. So I had my Akashic record read once, just a wee little bit of it. And I thought it was pretty funny because I was a very skeptical person back then. And that was many, many years ago. And I'm not so skeptical anymore. Anywho,
cool.
Something's going on now. A lot of times I'm a medium and a channel as well, but something's going on and something's, I feel, coming up, and I'm getting information that sounds ridiculous to me. And part of it has to do with the Akashic records. And I'm looking for validation. I'm looking for validation and education because my whole journey has been, hey, you can do this, pa-bam. And then it'd be like when I get comfortable doing pa-bam, they go, hey, you can do this too, and all that sort of stuff. So now this is like overwhelming for me because somebody recently that I've known for years told me that he was actually Lucifer. And he's a very well-educated man. He'd been waiting a really long time to bring it up to me because he felt the time was right or something, I don't know. And it kind of blew me away. And as we talked and stuff like that, anyway, he told me that I was somebody else. And I understand past lives and all that sort of stuff because that's fine. But he's like, yeah, you go back all the way to creation. And I'm like, I've never heard of such a thing. And so I'm not well versed in the Akashic records. I've always been a very skeptical person because of my upbringing. So I've had to completely rebuild my spiritual foundation to do this work, which I love doing. But I'm stumped and I need to educate myself and I guess be reassured, because he's like, he's and he's an educated PhD type person, also, and very deep, very spiritual, all that sort of stuff. And I knew that about him, but we never talked about it.
Here's what I can tell you about Lucifer Morningstar. Lucifer Morningstar is an angel. And God went to him and said, "You're my most beautiful, you're my most trusted. I need you to do me a favor. I'm going to create a race of beings and I'm going to call them humans. And I'm going to give them free will. And I'm going to give them a choice between the light and the dark. And you and I are going to stage a fight, and it's going to look like I kicked you out of heaven. And you are going to represent the darkness. And I want you to do a really good job." Lucifer's like, "I got it. Let's go." There was this big war, and he goes, "By the way, here, you can take some of these angels and we'll turn them into demons to make it look better." So Lucifer comes here, and Lucifer's killing the game. He controls 98% of humanity. And just like Austin is a leaf in the tree of Yeshua, there are other beings that are leaves in the tree of Lucifer. We sign a soul contract with Lucifer. We sign a soul contract with Archangel Michael. And we have to, like, literally at 8 years old, I'm like, am I good or evil this lifetime? And Lucifer's cackling in the background. And Michael's like, "Excuse me, it's my turn this lifetime." And I'm like, "Okay, that's right. That's right. Okay, I'm walking the path." But I'm telling you, we've held both positions. We've played both roles. We have had alignment with Lucifer. We've had alignment with Michael. And one of the things that I do is I have people complete their soul contracts with Lucifer, because every once in a while, every few thousands of years, Lucifer goes, "Hey, God, can we have a conversation?" God's like, "What's up, Lucy?" And he goes, "I'm done. I'm like so bored. I've killed the game, got 98% of them. You know, are we done yet?" And God goes, "Nope, not until the last soul chooses light over darkness. Not until the last soul chooses love over hate. We're not done. We're really close, but we're not there." Lucifer's like, "These humans." So I don't doubt your story at all. He's just got
Sounds
to.
incredulous to me.
I understand. I understand. Listen, it's a story that Anne Rice talked about in Memnoch the Devil. It's a story that they talk about in the Kabbalah Center. It's a story that I knew since I was really young.
Oh, I
Also,
know the story, but he's telling me he's an angel, and my research, the Genesis says that an angel is an angel forever and cannot be a human. And I have this human telling me that he is Lucifer or Anon or whatever,
no.
and his other name Anon.
I am an angelic, and I am a galactic, and I also have a human aspect to me. Understand that a tree doesn't have one leaf that looks like any
So
other.
is he confused as to who he is?
He's just
This
not
is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's confused as to who he is versus who he represents, perhaps.
Let me say he doesn't have the whole story. You know how the Bible had a bunch of books that were taken out?
Yeah, yes. Oh, yes.
He just doesn't have the whole story. Anyway.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
So here's what I can tell you. I got to run. I have a 2:30. So
Okay.
what I can tell you is, if you want training and if you want education, come to our world. Come get trained.
Thank you very much. I have much to learn, and I just, have to. I mean, he sent me channeled messages that were going to blow my mind, and I'm afraid to open them because spontaneous, I'm not ready. I don't go quickly into these things. Took me 14 years to take my first psychic development class. So, but
okay. Well,
I'm in now.
This is psychic development on speed. So if you're ready for that journey.
Yeah, I'm good where I'm at. I do the channeling and then the healing and all that sort of stuff. I'm comfortable where I am. This is just a huge leap for me.
Okay. Well, when and if you're ready, you know where to
Thank
find
you.
us.
Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. I appreciate it very much, very much.
Very, very welcome. All right, my darlings, thank you so much for being here. Sending you so much love. Shabbat shalom. Peace out, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody. You're welcome.